Chapter. Haha. This is crazy. I'm nervous, and at the same time, I feel like I'm going to poop my pants. Hee hee. This is the day I start school at Higher Value International School. Fancy name, right? I'm getting closer to the room the registrar's office told me. According to my registration papers, Section E is the last section in fourth year high school. I ended up here because my records weren't that good. I can't blame them, I was a bit of a troublemaker in my old school. I continued walking towards the room. When I got there, I saw a group of guys hanging out in front of the door. There were 5 of them, and their uniforms were all messed up. They looked a bit intimidating, but as they say, don't judge a book by its cover. I approached them. They all stopped talking and turned to face me. They all glared at me. Okay, a little intimidating. You? Guys, is this Section E? Why am I stuttering? This is so embarrassing. They looked at each other before turning back to me. It felt like they were scanning me from head to toe. Is there something wrong with my appearance? No, it's in the other building. The guy with brown hair answered. Ha! The registrar said it's here. It was moved, so get out of here, shouted the guy with a lollipop in his mouth. I was a little scared by their shouting, so I ran quickly. Seriously, do they have to shout at me? If I wasn't new here, you'd be in trouble. The bell rang, indicating the start of class. Meanwhile, I'm still walking towards my classroom. Annoying? I took bigger steps, but the other building was still quite far. It's strange that the building I came from is at the far end of the school. It's cemented, but the paint is faded, full of vandalism and scattered old chairs or broken things. It's 2 floors and has 4 or 6 rooms in total. I'm not sure if they're all used. It's not like the building I'm facing now. It's brand new and beautifully painted. It's 4 floors and has many rooms. Some rooms even have air conditioning. Rich kids. I immediately entered the building to find the room, but I couldn't seem to find it. I'm not blind. I just couldn't find the room. Until I saw a classroom with a name on the door. It only said section, but there was a mark left that was obviously the letter. Maybe this is it. I immediately went inside. The students stopped when they saw me. There were about 20 of them. I looked for the teacher, but he wasn't there, so I went straight to an empty seat at the back. Their eyes were still following me. Is that a transferee? Chicks, bro. So we have a new student. They were whispering. To be honest, I'm embarrassed, or maybe I should say annoyed. I don't like being talked about, and it's obvious they're making sure I hear them. I just lowered my head while hugging my bag. Hi! Someone approached and greeted me. I looked at him and a girl greeted me. Beautiful creature. Are you an angel? She's beautiful. Her hair is long and she's so fair. She's also tall. She looks taller than me. Hello, Po. I greeted. I'm shy. Don't call me Po. We're probably the same age. Okay. Are you new? She asked while pulling a chair. She sat in front of me. Oh, yes, I'm new. What's your name? She asked warmly. Jasper Jean Mariano, JJ for short. I answered with a smile. There, I'm a little comfortable now. I'm Raki, class president. She offered her hand and I accepted. Her name is cool. Like he. Jay, are you sure you're in the right section? She suddenly asked. I looked at her in surprise, but I just nodded. I know there's a transferee, but it's in Section E, not here. Not here. Oh, crap. It looks like I'm in the wrong section. Shit. Which section is this? I whispered to Raki. The whole class was staring at us. It would be so embarrassing if they heard me say I was in the wrong section. It was so embarrassing. Raki came closer to me and whispered, Section C? Shit. I was wrong. Damn it. Bullshit. Everything is bullshit. I slowly stood up and walked towards the door. I kept my head down. Don't look at me, please. I was almost at the door when Rocky suddenly blocked me. Where are you going? Ma'am is about to arrive. Against my will, I took a deep breath and looked him in the eye. Rocky, I started. I'm in the wrong section. PT. I told you so? Rocky laughed loudly. Even my classmates started laughing. Oh my God. Earth, open up and swallow them. I slowly walked out of the room, and even though I was already a little far away, I could still hear their laughter. It was embarrassing. So embarrassing, it's infuriating. I quickly ran back to the building where Section E was located, the real Section E. Those guys are going to pay. They're the ones who caused this. If they hadn't pointed me to that building, I wouldn't have ended up in the wrong section. It's infuriating. They'll remember this forever, the whole section C. I reached the room and stormed in with a frown, but wrong move. There was a teacher teaching. He stopped and looked at me. I'm busted. Yes? He asked me. I straightened myself. I immediately took out my registration papers and, wait, I need to make sure. Is this section E? I asked boldly. The teacher nodded and looked at me. I immediately handed him my registration paper. The transfer student, I've been waiting for you. He immediately pulled me and placed me beside him in front. I'm Mr. Alvin Shanko. I smiled at him and he motioned for me to introduce myself to the whole class. I immediately noticed the guys I talked to earlier, these jerks. What they did to me was terrible. I glared at them so they could feel the intensity of my anger, but the fools were just giggling except for the guy who was sucking on a lollipop earlier. Class, silence please. Sir turned to me again. Go ahead, introduce yourself. I took a deep breath. My name is Jasper G. Mariano. You can call me JJ. I'm from Holy Saints High School. The whole class was just looking at me. Most of them just gave me boring looks. Except for the guy with the lollipop again, he had a poker face. Class president, do you have any questions? Sir Alvin asked. No one answered. It seems their class president isn't here. What's that? A model student? Didn't come to class? Class president. Sir Alvin's tone changed a bit. He looked seriously at the group of guys I talked to earlier. Said the guy with the lollipop earlier. He stood up and looked at me boredly. Wait, he's the class president. No way. Question. Sir Alvin's voice sounded like a command. He sighed. Are you still a virgin? My eyes widened at his words, while the whole class laughed. Kiefer! Sir Alvin shouted angrily. He smirked. You said question. That is a question. No respect. He even talks back to the teacher. Arrogant. I glared at him. Sir Alvin is referring to a decent question. There, I spoke English. Hopefully, my allowance will last. The whole class immediately went, boo. The class president, who Sir Alvin called Kiefer, suddenly frowned. You want a decent question? Okay. When are you leaving our section? The whole class went, do again. To be honest, I'm annoyed by what they're doing, and I'm even more annoyed by this Kiefer. He's so arrogant. What's this? Just because he has a position, he has to be a jerk. You? When will you disappear from this world? I answered him sassily while crossing my arms. The classes, it got louder. I even heard Sir Alvin react. Why don't you go first? He answered me, then he smirked. Because I'm the one who will make you disappear in this world. Like you can... Yes, I can... I said in a matter-of-fact tone. Okay. Both of you need to stop. Kiefer, sit down, and Miss Mariano, you can choose any seat that you want. Alvin said, wow. I'm not done with him yet. He glared at me, but I turned my attention back to finding a seat. I'll get you later. It wasn't a problem because there were many empty seats. It's just that most of the empty seats were in the middle. Their tables and chairs are like those in Japan, even the old ones. There are more than 20 pairs of tables and chairs here, but most of the students are in the back and on the sides. They look like the letter U, only the middle doesn't have many people sitting there. So I sat there. I ended up looking like a loner in my seat. What's even more strange about this class, aside from their seating arrangement, is that there are only 15 or 16 students here, and another thing, I haven't seen any girls yet.